Oof, I don't even know how long it's been. Long time no see, my friends. I hope it's not too long. I'm sorry. However, but I've got a nice episode for you today, and I hope you guys very much enjoy this. So the Dragon Boat Festival just paused not too long ago, and me and my mom usually like to make a thing called zong, and you can make quite a few of them. It's essentially a sticky rice dumpling, and like all Chinese dishes, everyone has their own take on it, and I think that's what's really wonderful about this. And so I think go and get yourself exposed to all these different sort of varieties, because there really is quite a bit out there, because this thing isn't always savory. You know, you can find sweet ones, you can find savory ones, but also with different ingredients in there. So get yourself mingled with all those other recipes, of course. But before we get started, I think it's important to know a little bit about how the story actually goes, or how, the celebration came to be, really. So, essentially, Guy, he's a poet, also a scholar, and he was very loyal to his king. Unfortunately, because he was really smart, he was really intelligent, and his ways were quite intellectual, much higher than everyone else. Government officials and people he kind of worked with didn't really like him, and so because of this, he ended up getting sort of backstabbed, and he was charged falsely for conspiracy. And because of this, he was exiled. He didn't take this so well, and he became very sad. And unfortunately, he took his own life, and by drowning himself in a river. However, people that he knew, that he lived around while he was still alive, actually really respected him as a person. Because of this, they went and tried to search very thoroughly the rivers and everything, but they couldn't find him. And so this sort of tradition of throwing cooked rice into the river has kind of come to be, sort of. And really, it's because to stop the fishies from eating him, but it's also sort of interpreted as a sacrifice as well. And so over the years, it's sort of changed, and now we're up to the point where we're eating these sticky rice dumplings. But that's kind of how it goes. It's really just to commemorate him as a person. But without further ado, let's get started. I'm sure you guys want to know how this is made, so let's get going. See ya.
Did someone say ingredients? Oh hell yeah. So, firstly, rehydrated shiitake mushrooms. Use however many as you'd like. Then about 1 kilo or so of glutinous rice. We actually used 2 kilos in this video, so don't get decepted by what you see on the screen. You can find this in Asian grocers and soak them overnight, or longer, depending on how you'd like it, I guess. And then strain them, and then you're ready to go. Ready to move on. Let's keep going. So get out and ready your 5-spice powder filled with goodies and Asian spices, some string for later, good old bamboo leaves that can be found in Asian grocery stores that are dried actually, and some black-eyed peas / beans. Alrighty, time to get ready the shiitake mushrooms. So slice off a little part of the base / stem if needed, if it looks real tough guy on you. Slice them up to about 1/2 centimeter in thickness. Use as many as you'd wish, my friend. Alright, off to the pork belly. We used about 2 big to 3 big slices of pork belly. I would say about 500 grams, give or take. So a little trick when slicing meats is to let your the knife, do the work. Move the blade back and forth, don't push down forcefully. Slice about 1.5 centimeter thick pieces and keep the fat. You're ready to go. garlic cloves. Yeah, garlic cloves. You mince them and you get minced garlic cloves. Hell yeah. So get ready about 3 cloves of garlic, sliced and diced, ready for some cooking. Do it however way you'd like, whichever works best for you. This is just how I've done my cutting, or at least mincing. And then we're ready to go on for some cooking. So, remember your bamboo leaves earlier? That's right, we're gonna use them right now. Soak a good amount of them in some water overnight. Then you want to boil them up in some water for 5 to 10 minutes, and then further wash them in cold water. Then, of course, dry them. Wowzers, that's a bit longer process. I'm sorry. Next up, some real cooking. Put in 1/3 of your garlic into a hot wok with some cooking oil. Please be careful. I don't want you to hurt yourself. And slowly put in all your rice. Yes, all 1 kilo of your soaked glutinous rice. Each and every grain. I don't want to see no wastage, my friend. After that, you're ready to put in some seasonings. So the seasonings include, right after I finish putting all my rice in, is some salt. We need a good amount of salt. It's like rain, but not really. Just salt. I'm sorry. We're continuing on. Some dark soy sauce to make it that appealing color. Also a nice sweet flavor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's about it. Stir it a couple more times, get it nice and combined. You want that dark soy sauce coursing through that rice's veins, right? Let's continue on. Alright, off to cooking our shiitake mushrooms. Again, put in another 1/3 in your of garlic in your hot, oily wok, and then add your shiitake mushrooms. Give a few flicks and a few flips and a few twists. Cook them for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then remove it off the wok and into a bowl. Very nice bowl. Alright, now skip this part if you're anaphylactic. We're gonna put in crushed cooked peanuts, minced dried shrimp, and set them on a nice blind date in a wok for about 2 minutes, right? And then just move it out. Alright, even more fun stuffs. Time to cook the pork and give it a few stirs, a few here and a few there. Then add your 5-spice powder, let it have a bit of fun with the pork, and then introduce your pork to a familiar friend called dark soy sauce. And then a new friend called oyster sauce, which it's gonna come in now actually. And then cook it for about another minute or 2. Give it a few stirs, make sure it gets a good color and looks salty enough. So give it about maybe a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, or maybe even 3, or however much you like. Now this is the most important part of the entire recipe, putting the entire thing, one sticky rice dumpling together. And it's okay, it might not work the first time, but just keep practicing. You need 2 to 3 bamboo leaves, cut off the top bits,
by maybe 3 to 4 centimeters, probably less, and then cut off the bottom edge by 2 to 3 centimeters. Make it nice and even. Now leave one leaf stem protruding side down on your palm, then layer another leaf with the stem side protruding up on your palm. If you're doing a third leaf, do the same as if you were to do the first leaf. Sorry, it's getting really confusing. See, just go by what I'm doing in the video. But now you should have a nice sort of rounded semicircle bowl looking thing when you curl your hand. Add 2 scoops of rice on and then pat it down with the spoon. Also create a little ditch so you can put your ingredients in. Then you can start with any ingredient you want, but I started with the meat. So put 1 to 2 pieces of meat, but I believe I did 2. And so put it on your nice ditch. Make it have a nice comfy seat. Then put on your shiitake mushrooms, a piece or 2. I believe I put like 3 in there. You don't have to follow the similar thing. And then you're cooked, and then go in for the peanuts and minced shrimp if you are having any. Then your cooked or raw black-eyed peas / beans. On top of that, add another scoop of rice, or just enough to cover everything. Make sure that the mountain isn't actually over the leaf. So make sure that it's still below, and so that you can actually wrap it around. Now, okay, this is also another kind of difficult to grasp part. Try to wrap it around firmly. As I'm doing so right now, I am putting one side over the other and making sure that everything is contained inside. So take one end and fold it to your thumb as I am doing so. I just did it again, I believe, because it was about to rip. But so do that. Try not to overload your thing, so make sure to regulate yourself. I did it a bit too much, so that was a bit dumb of me. But then, yep, so fold it to your thumb. And now, take the other end. I'll get your spoon to pat it down first. So you can't see it, unfortunately, but pat it down to the bottom. Make sure that everything's kind of compact and nice. And take the other end and fold it the same direction, but another way as I'm doing so. So it's a bit confusing, but just go according to my fat hands. But another thing, get your string now, tie it around, get someone to help you, because obviously both of your hands are going to be full. So cut a nice length of string, just enough to wrap it around twice and tie a dead knot. And there you have it, around your dumpling of your very own sticky rice dumpling, ready to be boiled and later eaten. Just let me do my thing real quick. I'm having a bit of struggles. I have fat fingers. Oh, there you go. Alright. Mind my clumsiness. So, as you can see, we made quite a bit. I believe it was like around 30 something, because we cooked we used like 2 kilos of rice. It was massive. We had to use 2 pots. But basically, stack them around nicely, do a bit of Tetris, and get them, just fit them in nicely. Afterwards, you will be putting in some water, just enough to cover it. A good amount of salt again, because you gotta put in the salt or else it ain't gonna taste good. It's a flavor enhancer after all. So put in quite a few. And then you're gonna have to boil it for around 2 hours. It's gonna be a long time, but it's gonna taste amazing. Alrighty, and there you have it. It looks a bit like that. Man, it's been so great making this video. It took so long though. I am so sorry. However, I really wanted to say thank you to all the fans. You know who you are, and I really do appreciate you. So this mouthful goes to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, and see ya later.